Here we go. Game number 2, Little League World Series. And this one's going to pit a first-timer against a long-timer. Kearney, Nebraska is no slouch or secret to this tournament. They've sent teams almost every year. Fargo, North Dakota, first time around for a representative. Earlier today, Mason Hoheisel, a gem in Minnesota's victory over Missouri. He strikes out 15. He allows a hit. Coon Rapids defeats Webb City by a score of 4-0. So we continue along in the Midwest Regional. Jim Barber and John Gregory. And in game number 2, Fargo has never been here before, as aforementioned. So, John, how much of a difference does that make when a team is just getting used to the surroundings for the first time?
Yeah, you would think it would make a really big difference. You know, this team here for the first time, coaches here for the first time. On the other side, you have a Nebraska Little League that has been here quite often. So I imagine the nerves in that first base dugout are a lot more butterflies as we talk about in the first game, especially in the first game.
Yeah, let's speak of Little League as we take an overview of it so you understand the way the format is. This is a modified version of double elimination, so a loss here doesn't mean a team is out. 13-year-old players can participate. This is the final year. And minimum mandatory play. John, we saw a lot of substituting toward the end of game 1, and I imagine how the managers use their players will be significant in game 2.
Always interesting how they use their pitching staff and bring guys in, but the change in the bats, we'll talk about that. And the field size, always important. This one, 225 feet compared to some 200 in some ballparks or Little League across the country.
Yeah, and the bats have made a big difference. One team doesn't matter. The other team says it's different. We'll get to that subject and a lot of other things with first pitch in a moment. Thrower Keegan Brand on the mound for Nebraska gets the start, and the bio and Keel at the very least. Keegan loves the app MLB The Show 17.
Yeah, why not? You're going to see that little lefty out on the mound. I say little, 5'3". Not that he's tiny, but we saw a guy in Mason Hoheisel for Minnesota at 6'2" on the mound. A little different for Keegan Brand is he'll throw it up there about 60 miles an hour. Fastball, he'll kind of spot it. He's not going to blow it by you. We saw 15 strikeouts in the first game. We may not see that here, but we'll see if location's very important.
And the wind has picked up a little bit too. It's the twin brothers that will start the lineup for North Dakota, Adam and Jordan. Then counter home Drew Rarick, Charlie Kalbrenner, Landon Meyer, Andrew Kankelfritz, Bo Meyer, and Tommy Simon. And how do you tell one twin from apart from the other? Well, in the case of Adam and Jordan, you might remember the name Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan will wear the number 23 occasionally during practice, or red shoes. Other than that, Adam and Jordan are pretty difficult to pick apart. Big Poppy is a fan of, Adam's a fan certainly of the former Red Sox player. And the count already goes to 3-0. By the way, your Red Sox are off to a blistering start, John.
Yes, they are. And they're continuing to play well. Maybe a sweep tonight if they can take the Yankees with one more victory.
4 pitches, and Adam Leininger starts the game with a walk. By the way, shameless plug, Red Sox Yankees, ESPN tonight. Most people know that. Going up against our Indiana-Kentucky game. So
dial into Indiana-Kentucky.
Major competition.
I like to say that'll be a contest.
Yes. I'll listen to you. I know you don't like the Yankees. Here's Jordan Leininger, the center fielder. Keegan Brand trying to find the strike zone and has missed on 5 consecutive pitches.
Well, Jim, we talked in the first game how important it is for these pitchers to get off to a good start, and that good start means, not trying to overthrow the fastball early in the game. That tends to get the ball away from you a little bit. You miss the strike zone. We saw 2 guys that threw a lot of strikes early, and that made for a very good ball game in that first one.
Played in 89 minutes. 6 in a row outside the zone. On a 2-0 pitch, sky toward right field. Rhett Mundorf handles the sun and the ball 1 out. So, in a way, Keegan Brand gets bailed out. by Jordan Leininger, swinging on a 2-0 pitch. There's one out here in the first for Connor Holm.
Number 12, the first baseman, Connor Holm.
Well, you throw 6 balls, just 1 strike, but you've got 1 out.
Well, sometimes you give them a little something there, but they're being aggressive, and that's what it was for this team to get here. They outscored everybody in the state of North Dakota 50-0. Had to beat Canyon Lake, South Dakota to get here. They beat them 7-2, and that's not an easy task. We've seen Canyon Lake here before, so this Fargo team representing North Dakota the first time here, so they're excited. They're going to be anxious at the plate.
We saw the South Dakota representative last year, which played well and actually got to Williamsport. Connor Holm, North Dakota hockey fan, and in fact one of 10 hockey players on this North Dakota team. Headed to right field, base hit. Runner around second, will try for third. And it's going to be runners at first and third for North Dakota in the top of the first for the manager's son, Drew Rarick.
We said how aggressive they were going to be at the plate, lefty to lefty up there, and you'll see a lot of lefties throughout this entire ball game. And Rarick able to deliver it out there in the right field, and now runner in scoring position here with just this 1 out.
This is Swags. Runner heads down to second, no contest. So Connor Holm now at second. Adam Leininger at third with 1 out. As North Dakota will press the issue here in the first. Wild pitch there. Runners will hold as it comes back from the backstop really quickly. They're 2 different sports, John, but in the softball tournament on ESPN Plus in Zionsville, in the 16 games, just 2 occasions where the team that scored first did not win. So it seems pretty valuable that a team gets the jump, and of course in the Minnesota victory earlier today, Minnesota scored first and was the only team to score in a 4-0 shutout.
And it would go to say, I would imagine that you score first even in these ball games here, and typically in any sport outside of basketball, you've got a pretty good opportunity to win the ball game, and we've seen that throughout the last few years we were here.
Second walk delivered by Keegan Brand. So the bases are loaded. Big scoring opportunity for Fargo here in the top of the first for Charlie Kalbrenner.
Pitcher, number 8, Charlie Kalbrenner.
I got it correct. I said Rarick had to hit to right field. That was Holm that delivered that out there in the previous at bat.
And Char Kalbrenner gets hit. That will bring home the second run of the first inning for North Dakota. So Adam Leininger becomes the first run of the game. It is 1-0, and the bases are still loaded. And it's been a tough start for Keegan Brand, so conversation out at the mound, what might that be like at this point?
Well, it's one of those, we just got to calm down. That first inning jitters, trying to get the ball across the plate. And, that discussion out there by Brent Anderson, he's a guy that's been here before, assistant coach last year, getting an opportunity to coach this team up here. And just give him a little low 5 there, give him some encouragement. 1-0 game. If they can find a way to get a double play here or just get out of this inning and just kind of limit the damage, they can score some runs at the plate.
Landon Meyer with that scoring opportunity here with the bases loaded. Holm at third, Rarick at second. Kalbrenner, the runner at first. Ball 1. Landon Meyer, who's had a chance to visit Rome, said getting on ESPN is a dream for him. Takes a fastball for a strike there. Best pitch from Keegan Brand here in the first inning. A ball and a strike.
No question. That was a good fastball, good pop right on the outside corner. If he can live right there, that have a lot of success throwing that pitch.
Ball now, 2 strikes. Now Landon Meyer.
Wow. Did that get him up there? Get the camera?
Our guys have, as the cliche goes, work cut out for them. 1-2 pitch, bases loaded. And Garrison Burns, the catcher, saves that one from going wild. So 20 pitches already here in the top of the first from Keegan Brandt. Can he get a strikeout here, though? 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Brand's working extremely hard out on that mound. You can see him after every pitch. He's kind of drying that hand off, taking his hand out of the glove.
And so now with a bases loaded walk, it's 2-0. And North Dakota has produced runs without swinging the bat. Connor Holm comes through to score. Drew Rarick moves to third. Charlie Kalbrenner to second. And Landon Meyer to first. And both Kalbrenner and Meyer get RBIs here in the first inning. Good chance for North Dakota to bust this up early. Andrew Kankelfrentz at the plate. Andrew hit a grand slam in the state competition. Goes by his initials, AK. Seventh man to bat in the order. Bo Meyer would be next. There are 2 sets of twins on this North Dakota team. The Leinekers are identical twins. The Myers are not. Ball and 2 strikes. So you know Keegan's had a rough first. What type of pitch you want here for a punch-out?
You just got to have to go after him. He's got a good fastball. It has some pop on it. It's been all about location for him. So even if they hit it, they may hit it in a double play. Just got to try to somehow get out of this inning and limit it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The distance between the backstop and home plate is not significant, at least not yet, because that ball seems to bounce back pretty quickly. And so the runner at third in our 2 games so far has been pretty conservative about trying to score.
Yeah, that was a good look at it right there. Not a whole lot of room back there, so as a guy on third, you got to make sure where that ball's bouncing.
Huge strikeout for Keegan Brandt on a high fastball. So the bases remain loaded for Bo Meyer, the right fielder, and timely strikeout certainly for Mr. Brand.
Yeah, you're right. Timely strikeout gets that second out here. Now the infield can play back and try to limit Fargo with just 2 runs in this first inning, but that was a key strikeout for Brand on the mound.
Bo Meyer, huge fan of Carson Wentz, who was married over the weekend, said if there was a dance contest, Bo would be your winner. So we hope to capture those pictures for Dancing with the Stars before we leave here.
Yeah.
At the end of the week. Ball and a strike. Let's set the base runners again. Drew Rarick is at third. Charlie Kalbrenner is the runner at second. In your picture, and Andrew Kankelfrentz, check that, Landon Meyer, is the runner at first. There are 2 outs in the first inning. It is 2-0 in favor of North Dakota. The count, a ball and a strike. Tommy Simon would bat next. Three balls and a strike.
Boy, it just seems like when Brand is missing, he's missing up and away to these right-handed hitters. Got to hold on to it a little bit more. Got to drive that right shoulder down. Just let it go. That ball's coming out of the hand just a little bit too quick.
And ball 4 to Bo Meyer, which makes it 3-0 North Dakota. And the 3rd consecutive run that's been plated without the benefit of a hit. And we will have a pitching change now for Nebraska. So there'll be better times for Keegan Brandt. It's just the opening game.
Yep, and you can see Mr. Anderson there, his coach, giving him a hug, saying, you know what, you're right. You're going to have another opportunity in this tournament to get a shot on the mound. So they're going to make that change.
We'll introduce you to the relief pitcher here in a moment, as North Dakota still has the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the first.
Taking over on the mound, number 23, Bo Scala.
Lots of changes right now for Nebraska, trying to get out of a very difficult first inning. Carson Murphy becomes the third baseman. Keegan Brand, the pitcher, moves to center. And Bo Scala will try to get the team out of danger, John, here with the bases loaded.
Now comes in a tough situation. You can see 5'6", 116 pounds, and he's a guy we expected to see in relief. Not another guy that's not going to overpower you. Got a 60-mile-an-hour fastball, but got to throw strikes here, and that's a good start for him, locating a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, we didn't expect to see him this early, certainly.
No.
Tommy Simon, the ninth batter for North Dakota here in the first. Towards center field and dropping. Caught. Nice defensive play by Keegan Brand, who moves from pitcher to outfield, and that's it. North Dakota, though, gets 3 in the top of the first on just a hit. We'll introduce Nebraska's offensive lineup when we return. I think Mr. Miller was over for a while, too, one of the visits.
Yep.
Charlie Kalbrunner wears number 8 for North Dakota. He is on the mound. Chuck, as he's called. 5'4" and 121. What's he throw up there, John?
Well, he's a fastball, curveball guy, 67, 68. He's got a really good change up there, and they said he'd throw it at any time, and his coach described him as, looks like Maddox out on the mound. His ability to change pace and locate.
That means he'll be throwing pitches well out of the strike zone just to see how the umpire calls them. Remember how Greg used to be with that? You know, just test that umpire. Okay, what are you going to give me?
You're going to give me a little more? And a little more, I'll take it.
I just threw it to the dugout. Is that a strike? If it is, you know, and I know what to work with there.
Yep.
Keegan Brand will lead off for Nebraska. Then Landon Greeno, Jay Splatner, Eli Randolph bats fourth. Bryce Anderson, who wears number 99, will hit fifth. Carson Murphy, Bo Scala, Rhett Mundorf, and Garrison Burns rounds out the Nebraska lineup. With a little work to do, 4 left-handed hitters in the top 5, John, against a right-handed pitcher. So is that an advantage at a young age, having a left-handed hitter against a right-handed thrower?
Yeah, a good question. You know, at this age, does it matter? Certainly does. Sometimes there's good matchups and you do it late in the game, but we'll see how they react to that. But it is a little different.
Manager Brett Anderson is at third base as the coach. Ryan Renninger is the first base coach. Matt Mundorf is on the bench, and Brent says he's never had that many left-handed swingers at the top of a lineup.
You know, I think maybe the bigger question is how does a pitcher react to it? Because you don't often see that many lefties. So if you're not a guy that is comfortable throwing the lefties out on the mound, then it could make a big difference.
The theory being that a hitter that's opposite the throwing arm of a pitcher can see the ball a little better than somebody that's got the same
no question
lefty or righty position. And with a left-handed hitter, the other theory is that they've got an extra step to first base.
Yep. But I also think about it not from the batter standpoint, as I mentioned, sometimes from a pitching standpoint. You know, maybe a guy doesn't like throwing to lefties as much, and if you don't, it really can affect you having that many at the top.
Keegan Brand towards center field. Sliding catch by Jordan Leininger, 1 out. You know, lost in the shuffle of the fact that Keegan Brand struggled on the mound was the fine defensive play he made at the end of the first inning with the bases loaded at that point, which had he not done that, it would have been significant more damage.
That's right. You can feel sorry for yourself out in center field and have your head down and not react to that ball, and he did a good job of getting them out of the inning.
Landon Greeno is the batter. We call him Big Poppy, which I know makes you happy.
Yeah.
Going the opposite way to left field in the sun, Andrew Kankelfritz, 2 outs. 2 fly balls, 2 retired. Shortstop Jace Blattner, the number 3 hitter in the Nebraska lineup.
35, the shortstop, Jace Blattner.
Who wanted to inform us that his talents include the acoustic bass guitar. Turned 12 years of age on June 14th.
You know, he said we've seen this Kearney team here before. They were 4-0 in the state tournament and beat Memorial the last 2 games to win it. I score 6-3 and 5-3, so they've been battle tested. They lost the first game in the district, too. After that loss, the coach said, you know, he knew his team would make some noise because the way they reacted to that loss. Didn't get down, and, you know, that's a good sign of a team that's mature. You lose that first game in the district, you could just kind of throw in the towel, but they fought their way through and didn't lose anything after that.
It's a good-looking team. Now has to fight back from the 3-0 deficit. Jace Blattner now with a full count. Eli Randolph, the left fielder, hits next. Fargo 3, Kearney nothing. Inning over. Good battle back by Charlie Kalbrenner after being down 3 balls and no strikes, John.
Way to battle back. That's what you want. Get that strikeout. You can see the location, fastball in, swing and a miss. The board.
Winner of this game gets Iowa tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock. A little earlier starting time for the late game. Seven and 9 are my brothers. That's great. It's the Leinegers. We got to show that again. Must be the Leineger family up there. I can't tell the brothers apart. 7 and 9. North Dakota and South Dakota. Midwest regional history, John, dominated by Rapid City reps for 10 years, actually closer to 20. Sioux Falls, we got to know that team very well last year out of South Dakota, and now Fargo with its first ever appearance in the regionals.
Yeah, good story, Sioux Falls last year. Fun watching what they were able to accomplish, and I'll tell you something right now.
Bo Scout lifts one. It is in playable territory for Bryce Anderson, 1 out. Continue.
I was going to say that this Fargo team, like that Sioux Falls team, look pretty athletic right now. Not a lot of players to choose from, and we were talking with coaches about that, how they have to really expand the area to get players, but they guys they have look pretty athletic up and down this lineup.
Chris Meyer, one of the coaches who's in the dugout right now for North Dakota, along with the manager Mike Rarick at third and Jason Kalbrunner, the first base coach, talked a little bit about the representation by Fargo, how important it is to the rest of the state that programs that may not be participating in the Little League district and tournament setups might say to themselves, hey, you know, we got some pretty good kids in our area.
Yep.
Toward left center field, tagged. Up against the fence. Jordan Leininger standing up with a double. Second hit of the game for North Dakota. Well, what did you say about this team? Looking a little more physical and obviously a little bigger than years past with those bats.
Yep, and you talk big in size and his ability to get the bat through the zone. Leininger's, the brothers, when you combine them both, had around 20 home runs this year. So when you combine that, that shows some power that these guys have. Even with the change of the bats, these guys have been able to hit 20 home runs apiece this year.
Comes Connor Holm, who had the first hit of the game to right field and eventually scored in the previous inning. This is the 12th man to bat for North Dakota. Just 1 1/3 innings.
See the red shoes on Leininger out at second base. That's how they tell the difference between the twins. One's going to wear the red shoes.
That one gets away. And on the third base goes the one with the red shoes, Jordan Leininger. Well, I love that sign out there that you might have been able to read as we came out of break that I can't tell my brothers apart.
Look at the shoes.
Yeah. That'd be the shoes, money. There's that old Nike ad with Spike Lee. It's got to be the shoes. Connor Holm with a 3-1 count and a runner at third. That is the 5th walk North Dakota has been given, so Fargo's been very patient at the plate. They've got now runners on the corners for Drew Rarick, who walked and scored in the first. Drew says his 3 favorite things are to play baseball, hit home runs, and hang out in Uncle Jeff's pool after a game. Runner down to second, uncontested.
I like the list.
Maybe not necessarily in that order sometimes. Second and third now with a man out. Already 3-0 North Dakota. Bo Scala got the only man he faced in the first on a fly ball to center. Got the leadoff hitter here to start the second. Since then, hit and a walk. And now in danger of losing Drew Rarick. The bases are loaded. One thing about North Dakota hitters behind, and besides the fact they've got power, they're very patient right now at the plate. As Charlie Kalbrunner hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, steps back in for the second time in 2 innings. And there will be activity right now in the Nebraska pen. Well, the last thing that manager Brent Anderson was hoping to do today was use his pitching staff. He talked about a number of guys prior to the game we might see, but he wasn't counting on it in this first game.
No. One of the questions certainly we ask him is give us a scouting report on guys we can possibly see through the next few days, and they all say that. I hope we don't see them today, but if we do, this is what we can expect. Pressure starts to mount on these kids as they bases get loaded and they start to walk guys, and then it just kind of builds. They have to just relax, calm down. That's why you want to get them back in the dugout as quick as possible so you have a chance to sit them down and just calm them down and say everything's going to be fine. Plenty of time to come back in this ball game. Just 3-0 right now.
Logan Clark throwing in the Nebraska pen. Now ball and 2 strikes. Charlie Kalbrunner, who has pitched a perfect game in the state final semifinals, at the plate. RBI situation here. He almost did his Anthony Rizzo, the Cubs imitation, the first by being hit by a pitch. 2-2 bases loaded, 1 out. Landon Meyer bats next.
When you look at this team, it can certainly put runs on the board. In the state championship game for North Dakota, 28 runs. They hit 7 home runs in that game.
And they play in a ballpark, from what I understand, it has dimensions of 250. So the park here is certainly to their liking. They've knocked a few out of the park at 250, which is no small feat. Not with the new bats, anyway. Again, a big 3-2 pitch. And it is now 4-0 in favor of North Dakota.
They've gotten those 4 runs on just 2 hits in this game, so been a lot of free passes for them, and they've had plenty of patience at the plate. The only time we didn't see them had patience, it was 3 balls, no strikes. They took a swing at it.
Yeah. 7 walks now issued to North Dakota batters. Charlie Kalbrunner's having quite a day. He has 2 RBIs, but as it turns out, he hasn't swung the bat yet.
And we're going to see another change here on the mound.
Logan Clark coming in, becomes the 3rd Nebraska pitcher. We'll stick around, continue to talk baseball here. So rough start right now for Nebraska pitching, already down 4-0, and having used 2 pitchers, and going to Logan Clark. And Logan Clark, who can play 5 different positions, is one of 5 11-year-old players on this team. I don't know if youth has anything to do with it, John. You're the analyst, you're the expert here. But this Nebraska team has a lot younger players than most of the teams here. So does that matter in digging a quick hole?
Yep, I think it does matter. One, you can see it, the difference between 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds make a big difference. And, you get those younger guys in there, their first experience here, very difficult. You have, this is a team, when we talk about Nebraska, Kearney, they've been here before as a league, but no player has been in this before and had to perform under this type of pressure.
Maybe showing so far. First pitch, misses 1-0. And one of the other difficulties as Landon Meyer bats for the 2nd time in his 2 innings is that home plate umpire John Chirilla is used to calling balls here, and the one thing you don't want him to do is to shorten his strike zone.
That's correct.
Kevin Southo umpiring at first, Jeff Shuttle at 2nd, John Budnick at 3rd. Ball and 2 strikes. Logan Clark trying to get a punch out here, or a double play, or a force out at home base. There have been 3 walks in the inning, all in succession. 1-2 pitch. That's big. 2 outs. Andrew Kankelfritz ready to step up.
Another big strikeout here with the bases loaded. We saw that in the 1st inning where Keegan Brand almost got out of that inning without giving up another one after he got a big strikeout here. And now that gets the all-important 2nd out here and a force out now at any base.
Jake Jaroszewski is going to bat for Andrew Kankelfritz. And Jake spells his last name Jaroszeewski. Mike Rarick, when he was putting together pronunciations for each of the teams, assisted us greatly, John, when he put good luck on this one. But we tracked him down today to get the official call on it. Logan Clark's got 1 out so far. Can he get another one?
Let's call him Jake. How about that?
Yeah. Ball and 2 strikes. 1 more pitch by Logan Clark. Nebraska could dodge another big situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Connor Holm is running at third. Drew Rarick at second. Charlie Kalbrenner is the pinch runner at first. Jake Jaroszewski hitting. How about that job by Logan Clark, John?
Come in, get strikes, get it across the plate and make them swing the bat. That's exactly what he did. Got the 2 big strikeouts to maintain this lead at 4-0.
Could be a game saver for North Dakota. We'll find out anyway. If you have your bracket handy, you can pencil Minnesota into the winner's bracket tomorrow. And that team will face Kansas. Missouri, which lost, goes to the loser's bracket. And will face the loser of Game 4. That's Indiana and Kentucky later tonight. Winner of this game will face Iowa. That'll be tomorrow night. And the loser will be back to play in a couple of days.
And leading off the bottom of the second for Nebraska,
Eli Randolph
number 9.
will lead off for Nebraska in the bottom of the second with his team down 4-0. Eli says one of the best things about playing Little League is, particularly in this World Series competition, get to meet kids from different states. From Sunrise Middle School in Kearney. Charlie Kalbrenner had a couple of outfield outs in the first and then struck out Jace Blattner to end that first inning. In the first game earlier today, Mason Hoheisel, 15 strikeouts, a one-hitter, and a victory over Missouri, 4-0. We have seen some Little League over the last few years, John, where pitchers have excelled. I'm not sure there was a better performance than that one.
Oh, 15 strikeouts and impressive, too. He was able to get through almost the entire game through 85 pitches and had 1 out to go. So he was very efficient.
And Jordan Leininger has his second putout. First out of the second inning. Here's Bryce Anderson. Mason Hoheisel did not go the distance because he reached the 85 pitch limit. Anthony Pardo came on to get the final out. Bryce's brother Brayton was in the Little League World Series last year. Turned 11 years of age on July the 12th. Took a mighty swing there. No balls, 2 strikes. Temperature is climbing here in Westfield, Indiana, up 7 degrees from the time we began, so it's nearing 90. It's going to be in the low 90s today. Lots of wind and plenty of sunshine.
Plenty of sunshine, but that wind is pretty strong, blowing across the field from left field to right. So tough to get any ball lifted and out of here in left field.
2 outs now, John. Bottom of the second for Carson Murphy. Keeps a cheeseburger wrapper in his bag as good luck. Cheeseburger's already been eaten, but the bag sticks around.
I have one in my bag too, but that's I just finished.
So I'm assuming he did something special on the day that that burger was devoured, and he hasn't forgotten it. Stands at even 5 feet. Toward Tommy Simon into the outfield, can't handle it. So with 2 outs, Carson Murphy reaches and the inning continues. And in that situation, should the right fielder have come in and made the call, John?
Well, tough play. He was coming hard. It was a long run for him here. We'll see if he had the opportunity, and you're probably right. So,
Bo Scala.
Going to rule that a base hit regardless.
Bo Meyer had a long way to go, but that's the one thing, we'll learn over the years is communication. And anytime you're an outfielder and you can take control of that over the infielder, you certainly want to make that play.
Inning stays alive for the third baseman, Bo Scala, batting in the 7th spot. Down the third baseline and a foul. Drew Rarick gave it an effort. Rhett Mundorf, the right fielder, would bat next if the inning continues. Bo Scala's older brother, Jake, in the 2012 Little League World Series in Williamsport. That is the next and final stop, the biggest stop for the champion for the Midwest Regional and also the champion from the Great Lakes Regional. That's it for the second for Nebraska. A 2-out hit, 1 stranded. Last of the North Dakota lineup, 8 and 9 hitters when we come to the third. We invite you to catch all the excitement of the Little League World Series, including how to visit Williamsport, score, stats, highlights, and more. Visit littleleague.org or follow along on social media with hashtag LLWS. Some of the North Dakota players were actually at the World Series last year as observants and really got a kick out of it.
Hitting to lead off the top of the third for North Dakota, number 3, Ethan Welk.
Ethan Welk, the pinch hitter, will bat for Bo Meyer to start the third inning. In fact, Chris Meyer, the dugout coach of the Fargo team, actually organized it. Got the Twins to go along. Turns out that Drew Rarick was there. He was on crutches because of a broken leg that he might have actually played on or played with. What a great experience to be able to visit Little League's hallowed ground. Again, no balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, anytime you get a chance to go there and experience that, it can only help you when you get back here thinking, boy, I'd love to get there and have that opportunity.
Towards second base. And to start the third, Ethan Welk on way of an error. So North Dakota again starting with base runners. We mentioned the Williamsport experience as spectators last year as we take another look at the air on second baseman Landon Greeno. A little frustrated Nebraska team right now, as you might imagine.
Number 4, Jackson Ammerman.
And Jackson Ammerman will step in as a pinch hitter.
Okay, you get a guy, Logan Clark, come out on the mound, gets a couple key strikeouts.
How about that for a double play? Not only those key strikeouts, but also a twin killing.
Yep, I was going to say, you get a guy in there, he's finally throwing strikes for you, and then get a kind of a ground ball, that a play that normally is made, not able to do it. Then you get the fortunate bunt here, pop out, and to double the guy off. And for Logan Clark, that's a great thing. The double play gets him almost out of this inning now.
Back to the top of the North Dakota lineup. Back to the pitcher, but that'll be ruled a foul ball. You know, Garrison Burns has saved a couple of wild pitches as catcher today, and now he comes up with that catch and throw him out double play. So behind the plate, Garrison has been looming large for Kearney, Nebraska here in the first 2 2/3. Adam Langer has walked and scored. In fact, I don't recall many Little League games, John, where a team has scored all of its runs, 4 in this case, without a hit. In fact, all 4 were either by hit batsman or a bases-loaded walk. Fargo has left 6 players on in the first 2 innings. Going the opposite way to left field, and Eli Randolph, and E says no problem here. So on the attempted bunt, Garrison Burns with a catch, and then throws out Ethan Welk running at first. Bottom of the order for Nebraska, trailing 4-0 in the third.
For North Dakota.
Possible on days off that some of the Little League teams will get a chance to visit the Canal in downtown Indianapolis, not too far from Victory Field, with the AAA Indianapolis Indians play, and the home site for the association, the NCAA, along with a couple of historical museums. John Gregory, Jim Barber, 2 the third we go, the bottom third for Nebraska, and Rhett Mundorf, the right fielder. By the way, John, this is around lunchtime, and I've got another joke for you. This one heads into center field. Rhett Mundorf starts off the Nebraska third with a hit. He says, you know what did one plate say to another? Lunch is on me.
Where are you getting these?
Kids' bios, I think.
Oh, I like it.
Second hit of the game for Nebraska. First time the leadoff hitter is aboard. Here's the catcher, number 1, Garrison Burns.
And a good start for Nebraska here. They need to try to dent that scoreboard, get a run on, get a guy in the scoring position, maybe put some pressure on this Fargo defense and see how well they play with guys in scoring position.
So Fargo's not cornered the market on being hockey fans. Garrison Burns likes Patrick Kane of the Blackhawks, and he blasts one to right field. They go station to station here, so back-to-back hits to start the Nebraska third with nobody out for Keegan Brand. And I think back to the first couple of innings where Nebraska could have been an 8-0, 9-0 hole. Got out of it with some good pitching and now have a chance.
No question about that. How important it was they were able to get those outs and get out of those innings, because we said before, this Nebraska Kearney team has been here before. Not the players necessarily, but the league, and these kids know how to win, and they're not going to give up. Down 4-0, they're going to keep swinging the bats.
Keegan Brand 0 for 1 in the game. Favorite athlete, The Rock, Wayne Johnson, and now down 2 strikes.
We mentioned how this team, Brent Anderson has said that, how the kids handled losing that first game in the district, and that approach ever since that time has been one game at a time, and everybody always says that, but now for them it's not one game at a time, really it's one at bat at a time. Let's just poke away at this thing. If we can get 1 or 2 here, just get ourselves back in it.
This is a good scoring opportunity with a solid hitter in Brand at the plate. Protecting the 0-2 pitch and lets it go by for a ball. Keegan started this game and had to be relieved. Now headed to right field, a base hit. Run around third, they're going to send him. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is out at the plate on a terrific throw by Bo Meyer. Wow.
Boy, and there's a big smile on that, and you mentioned it, what a throw. We've talked about the athletic ability of this Fargo, North Dakota team. Get the baseball, fire it to home plate through the air, and a really good play by the catcher Leininger as he is able to reach out to it, come back and get the runner as he's sliding in, just catch him on the leg and make the tag.
Runners in the meantime move to second and third base. So Garrison Burns is the base runner at third. Keegan Brand, who had the hit, is at second. Consecutive hits, but still no runs. This Fargo team looks like it's been through Little League World Series experience.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's just a team that looks very poised out there, and we mentioned their ability through the state. Not that there's that much competition across here, but outscoring everybody 50-0, 7 home runs in a championship game, and then you have to face a South Dakota team for a 1-game championship, and they beat Canyon Lake in that one 7-2. So they've been tested, maybe not so much in North Dakota, but against a South Dakota team that typically is pretty good.
Back to the pitcher. Throw to first, runner will score. So Charlie Kalbrenner elected to go to first base with it. And that allows Nebraska to get its first run with the runner moving from second to third in Keegan Brand.
You know, knowing your situation out there on the mound, especially as a little leaguer, no matter what position you're playing, so key. What am I going to do if the ball's hit to me? I think, and it's my guess here, he may have thought that there were 2 outs in that situation and was just going to run it over to first base because he did not even look at third. So may have been just a little bit of a mental mistake that allowed that run to score there, but physically he made the play he needed to make.
You know, I felt the same thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Rarick, the manager, doesn't address that with Charlie Kalbrenner when he comes off the mound.
Yeah, and I think he already did. The way he looked into the dugout, and it was almost like, I made the mistake, and he realized that he did it, and he's an athlete on the mound, and you recognize when sometimes you make a mental mistake, but physically, not a problem doing it that time.
I make plenty of those, by the way, John. I'm here in the broadcast position, but
we all do.
You often bail me out.
Yeah, we need each other.
Good to see you again, by the way. 2-2 pitch. Slow roller, tough play. But Jace Blattner out by a step on a throw from Landon Meyer. It was the other brother, the twin Bo Meyer, with the play of the third inning. After back-to-back-to-back hits, able to track down Rhett Mundorf at home plate. And it's 4-1 to North Dakota after 3. One of the identical twins, Jordan Leinecker, will lead off the North Dakota 4th. He has doubled and scored in this game. 4-1 North Dakota. Opening run activity, the second of 4 in a row today on ESPN+. Winner of this game gets Iowa tomorrow night. The loser will play in 2 days. And that will be against the loser of Game 3, which will be later today. Or actually later tomorrow. A liner toward short. Good job of protecting, and the throw of the first is not in time. The ball was hit sharply at Jace Blattner. We'll see how they score it. Jordan Leinecker on base for the second time.
Oh, and they're going to have to give Blattner some time at shortstop. That ball was hit extremely hard and may have taken it off the leg there. And I don't know if they know that he's in a little pain out there right now. They're going to go visit him, and boy, what speed down the first base line. You had to run hard to get there as hard as this ball was hit.
Yeah, that thing was smacked, and let's hope he's going to be all right. Still somehow recovered despite the fact he got shaken up.
On a bang-bang play at first base.
It's going to be a base hit, and I think that's probably the proper way to score a Little League play like that.
As hard as that ball was hit, you're right. I mean, you got to be rewarded for that. They're taking a.
We have television replay.
Look at this down at first base, and they may be right by trying to review this.
Managers are able to challenge a couple times during the course of a game. If the challenges are successful, they can continue to challenge throughout the game. If they lose a challenge, you're down to 1. They lose 2 challenges, and that's it.
And Blattner's leg will feel a lot better here if they reverse this call and give him the out.
Absolutely. John Chirilla.
Feel a little bit better.
I agree. John Chirilla is the home plate umpire, taking a look and getting Little League's weigh in on this. And he's ready to make a decision. And the call will stand. John, do you agree?
Well, I know. I'd like to see another look at it. I don't necessarily look like the throw beat it there, but he had a good close look at it. Let's take a look. See if you can see the glove move.
Number 12, Connor Holmes.
Boy, that's so close, but hard to say.
Connor John Holm back to the plate. Says he's dreamed about playing in the Little League World Series since he was knee-high. He has singled and scored and walked. Doesn't it seem to you North Dakota's had base runners since the team got out of the hotel today? I mean, it's wow.
Mentioned that first game with this. Connor Holm, another guy that grew about 6 to 7 inches over a 1-year period. Guys just this age just shoot up size-wise. One thing about it too is when you look at him, some guys will lose some athletic ability, you know, getting used to their body and all that, but not him. I mean, he swings the bat well, long left-handed swing. Looks really nice.
Again, one of 4 of 5 left-handers in the top of this lineup, and he is on base for the 3rd time today. So North Dakota, something cooking here in the 3rd with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out. And unlike the first game, which went at rapid speed, we're approaching an hour in this one, and we're just in the top of the 3rd with nobody out. Top of the 4th, excuse me, with nobody out. Drew Rarick at the plate. He has walked twice and scored. 8 walks distributed by Nebraska pitchers. North Dakota has but 3 hits in the game. Double play ball short. They'll take the force though at 3rd, and everybody is safe. Well, it was the proper play, didn't work. Some frustration from Carson Murphy, the 3rd baseman, and now they're loaded with nobody out.
Well, it was a tough play for Murphy. That, again, a ball that was hit pretty hard to Blattner at short.
Now batting for North Dakota,
Makes the throw over the
pitcher,
3rd base.
number 8,
It's kind of like a first baseman or a
Kearney.
pitcher trying to cover the first base bag, and his glove got crossed up how he wanted to accept that ball or catch that ball from the shortstop. That's an angle that a 3rd baseman not used to catching from a shortstop out there. Tough play.
Even though that's the play they work on, but you're right, it's unusual. So Charlie Kalbrenner up with the bases loaded. This is the 3rd time he's been up here with the bases loaded. And the first 2 times he has been hit by a pitch and walked, so he's got 2 runs batted in already. And is ahead on the count, 2 balls, no strikes. So after a hit and a walk and an error, they're loaded with nobody out, and a pitch away is North Dakota from taking a 5-1 lead. Three balls, 1 strike.
And how many times can this Nebraska team get out of a situation like this? They've twice been here and have only given up 4. Just a matter of time before Fargo puts them on the board.
Logan Clark battling from 3-0 down to 3-2. Yeah, I would think this is another precious moment here in the game for both teams. How about Logan Clark? He starts out 3-0 with the bases loaded, comes back with 3 strikes, 1 out here in the 4th.
Boy, and it seems like when the situation gets even dire for them, he's been able to step up and get some big strikeouts, and looked like he took something off of that on a breaking ball, able to get that big strikeout.
Just 11 years of age, not out of damage yet, as Landon Meyer steps up. Myers walked with an RBI to go with it and a strikeout. The bases are still loaded. That one well out of the zone. In the first, North Dakota left the bases loaded. In the second, it left the bases loaded. Logan Clark to the plate. Base hit left field, not a problem here. 1 in, they're going to try to send a second, not going to be a problem. Now to throw to 3rd to cut down another lead run, and that runner is out as Drew Rarick is tagged out, but on the base hit by Landon Meyer, 2 more for North Dakota to make it 6-1.
Well, Landon Meyer got the pitch he wanted there. That was a ball inside on the inner half of the plate. He's able to deliver it into left field there, picks up a couple RBI, and they get the out, but 2 more important runs.
Now this one sky towards center field and all the way to the fence will score another. Andrew Kankelfritz heading into 3rd with a sliding triple. And these North Dakota bats have exploded here in the 4th inning. It is 7-1.
Boy, they're swinging the bat aggressively. You just knew it was a matter of time before they were to put some runs on the board. That ball one hop off the fence and drives it out there. Another run scores, and he was thinking 3 all the way.
Bo Meyer to the plate. You made a good point earlier. I mean, how many times can Nebraska get out of trouble Did so in the first and second while allowing runs, got out of 2 bases-loaded jams without further damage. Here it's been different. This one toward right field and foul. But the baseball gods, they're fickle. I mean, if you mess with them more than a couple of times, you're going to have to pay, and that's what's happened here in the North Dakota 4th. Bo Meyer walked back in the first inning, was pinch hit for in the third. And for Fargo, about to go through its batting lineup for the third time in this game. We're just in the 4th inning. 7-1 in favor of North Dakota. The winner gets Iowa tomorrow night. The loser will come back on Tuesday in the lower bracket. Minnesota already punched a ticket to the winner's bracket second round to play Kansas. While Missouri will take a day off, and then we'll play at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Outs in the North Dakota 4th. And another bases on balls issued in this game to North Dakota hitters.
Yeah, those base on balls, they got away with it earlier in this ball game, and for Fargo, just a matter of time before they put some crooked numbers up in a big inning. You just can't, expect to get out of that. Left 6 runners on coming into this particular inning.
Tommy Simon, inning over. But North Dakota adds 3. Nebraska now trailing 7-1, and Landon Meyer had the big hit in that inning, knocking home 2. It'll be the middle of the Nebraska lineup upon our return.
That's why you want pencil.
All right, John, let's explain the modified double elimination format as simply as we can. 6 teams start in each of the 2 regions, Midwest and Great Lakes, until we get down to 4. Then we have a single elimination format. So the records from phase 1 of double elimination do not carry over. And we will have champions from both Midwest and Great Lakes, as our ESPN crew will carry production deep into the end of the week. 7-1 our score, bottom 4. Eli Randolph will lead off. He flied out to center field to start the second. Approaching 2:15 Eastern Time, 1:15 in the Central Time Zone for folks watching in Kearney and Fargo. Good to have you with us today. A lot of baseball still to come. We'll get to the Great Lakes region later this afternoon and tonight. It'll be Eli Randolph, Bryce Anderson, Carson Murphy scheduled to hit. Again, everyone's required to participate, so there could be some pinch hitting. Eli's on base to start the bottom of the fourth. Number 99, Bryce Anderson. Well, the most famous jersey 99 belongs to the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Bet you there's a lot of guys on this Fargo team would like to wear 99.
Oh, yes.
Well, both. A lot of these teams. For that very reason.
Bryce says his favorite moment was hitting the ball over the Green Monster. You know, Little League, high school, and especially in the majors with your Red Sox have all got renditions or the real thing of the Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Time being called. North Dakota staff, Mike Rarick, Chris Meyer, Jason Kalbrenner. Charlie Kalbrenner has thrown 29 of the 54 streaks. In the majors, you're limited to a certain amount of visits per game. And the second visit to a pitcher in an inning or the third visit in the game, the pitcher must be taken out. The offense is permitted one visit to a batter or runner per inning. And a timeout to make a simple change on offense or defense does not count as a visit. Of course, they limit the amount of visits in the major leagues now, and was at a game recently, Wrigley Field, where that is charted on the scoreboard for people to watch. Do you think it's speeding the game up at all?
Yeah, maybe.
You're hedging on me there. I think you mean no.
Well, I'm kind of like the tradition, but you know, baseball may be a slow game, but that's the way it's supposed to be played.
Towards short. Everybody's going to be safe. Took a tough hop on Landon Meyer, so it's first and second with nobody out.
You're right. Right on the edge of that grass. Go to field it. I'm not sure if it hit the very end of the grass or not. We'll take a look at it here.
The Nebraska third baseman, number 14.
It didn't hit the end of the grass, but it certainly popped up into the chest. Well, that's a tough play right there.
Tyson Cabela will pinch hit. So first and second for Nebraska, trailing by 6.
Number 27, Tyson Cabela.
And the official ruling apparently will be an error. So here's an opportunity in the fourth inning for Nebraska. And 7-1 is not insurmountable. One of our teams trailed 4-0 in the final inning, down to 2 outs. Got 4 in that inning, a run in the 8th to win. Might have been Grosse Points out of Michigan. And Grosse Point we will see later today, or actually later in this tournament. 1-1 count on Tyson Cabela with 2 on and nobody out. Now 1-2.
Kalbrenner with a breaking ball that time and really fooled him at the plate there as they got the swing and miss.
Tries to nip the corner there. It is 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Boscala is set to bat next, the number 7 hitter in the lineup for manager Brent Anderson.
Went back to the breaking ball, and again for the 3rd time.
Towards center field, caught, no chance for a double play. Good running catch by Jordan Leininger. And now we have 1 out here in the 4th. That outfield has been busy in this game so far, having recorded to this very point a total of 4 putouts.
For Nebraska, the second baseman, number 3, Tate Redinger.
So Tate Redinger will have a chance to pinch hit here. Tater Salad's his nickname, John.
Yeah, Tater Salad got a big breaking ball in that first one, really fooled him. He kind of dove out of the box, and the breaking ball across the plate, and then he comes back with a fastball, and now another breaking ball. So right now, Kalbrenner's feeling it out on the mound as far as that breaking ball goes. He's gone to it 4 of his last 5 pitches.
Just entering the 6th grade. Little liner towards short, 2 outs. So Charlie Kalbrenner after walking the leadoff hitter in the fourth and having the second batter reach on an error, is now retired 2 in a row and may be able to get out of this inning if he can take the number 5 batter that's coming to the plate for Nebraska here in the fourth. And because we're now at the pitch limit for Mr. Kalbrunner, that will be his day. They're going to pull him out after having delivered 66 pitches, which means he'll have 4 days rest. He'll have a chance to return on Friday. And a substitution right now will be Tommy Simon coming on the pitch.
Now Simon across the board, you're not going to have any guys that really in this necessarily for Fargo going to overpower you with fastballs. When we talk with both coaches before the ball game, they all said fastball, curveball, and some will throw a changeup out there. But Simon's one of those guys that not going to overpower you too, but wants to throw strikes. A 7-1 lead right here. You got 2 outs. Just want him to come in and kind of mop this thing up if possible. But throwing strikes.
May take some time to clarify something, that the previous pitcher will now have 3 days rest as opposed to 4, as the rule is you are allowed to finish that batter.
Yep, and he was at 66 pitches at the end of that hitter, so he doesn't throw another pitch, so therefore he's going to get 3 days rest, and that's an important number. That one pitch matters a whole lot. If you start the next hitter, you would have had 4 days rest.
I agree. Good point. Owen Axeman, the Axeman, coming to the plate. Said, I want to give a shout out to my nephew Carson Dale, so considered it dumb, Mr. Axeman. A ball and a strike. Runners at first and second, but now 2 outs for Nebraska, which started the inning with a good scoring threat. But now infielders back in their normal positions and a chance for North Dakota to deal out of trouble.
Now, for Tommy Simon, the scouting report on him, we mentioned not going to overpower you. He's the team, quote, junk baller. So you can expect a lot of off-speed stuff here and trying to get guys to chase the bad pitch.
He's in position now to get a strikeout on 2-2. Garrison Burns, the catcher, set to bat next, who singled and scored in the third. Nebraska needs a whole lot of base runners. They'll take the base hit as well. It'll be station-to-station baseball, as they now are loaded with 2 outs. So Owen Axeman, as a pinch hitter, comes through. And Garrison Burns is the scheduled batter.
Well, come in off the plate. The Axeman delivers between third and short there. Bobbled out in left field by Kankelfritz, but not enough to allow Randolph to come around and score.
Garrison had a walk-off RBI hit in the state tournament. He informs us that he can touch his nose with his tongue, John, so it's a very talented kid at the plate.
Leininger behind the plate, pretty tough too. He just kind of backhanded that. Scary in that situation, not getting your body out in front of it with a runner on third base, but it was a breaking ball, and he just kind of reached out and snagged it like a first baseman.
You turn Mr. Burns loose here on 2-0?
I think so.
Towards second base. North Dakota gets out of the jam, as Nebraska leaves the bases loaded. Good job by Tommy Simon in relief. To the 5th inning we go. North Dakota with the top of its order. We have Illinois Michigan. North Dakota's been the recipient of nine walks today and a hit batsman, resulting in an early 4-0 lead. And then the bats got going in the fourth. Landon Meyer came through, 2-run hit. Andrew Kankelfritz with a triple to center field. And that accounts for the 7 runs in this game for Fargo, leading 7-1.
Leading off the top of the fifth.
Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. And I still love the other sign, which says I can't keep my brothers straight. And one of the twins is coming up right now. That's Adam Leiniger. He wears number 9. Top of the fifth in a 6-inning game. Illinois and Michigan from the Great Lakes to follow in about an hour and a half.
Talked about his catching prowess back there, the way he just kind of backhanded that. You know, he's a guy that just started catching this year. So not a lot of experience behind the plate, but he's pretty good back there, and he's just a pure athlete anyway. He's a guy that plays football with his brother and a couple other twins on this team too. So,
yes.
But that showed that athletic ability, just kind of reaching back and backhanding that breaking ball.
We always wondered about the carvings in a tree. You know, when lovers do that, do lovers actually bring a knife to a first date?
Well, maybe the carving takes a little while to develop. I don't know.
I had never thought about
Are
this.
you all in like that?
He is on base now for the second time today. He's already walked and scored. That was way back in the first to start the game. Here comes the twin of Adam, Jordan Leiniger.
North Dakota center
You know,
fielder,
both twins
number 7,
still acknowledge
Jordan Leininger.
their deceased sister Amanda was killed in a car crash about 10 years ago. In fact, they list her as one of their sisters and what age she would be right now, age 18. In case of Adam, he offers a prayer to her prior to the game, so it's a wonderful gesture for those two kids to remember somebody from their family like that. North Dakota in great position to make it to the winner's bracket, 6 outs away, with a 6-run advantage. Fargo has left 7 on base, but it's not mattering right now, leading 7-1. Jordan Leiniger has doubled and scored, single. He has his 3rd hit of the game. So it's the Leiniger gang on base, first and second with nobody out to start the North Dakota 5th. And boy, he spanked that one, John.
He did. This pitch was up. I thought it was a breaking ball. That looked like fastball there, but we've seen a few balls now from this Fargo bats hit pretty hard. Out there is a shortstop, Blattner for Nebraska. Boy, he's been dodging them out there as those balls have been rocketed off the bats.
He has been. Landon Greeno will now come on to pitch. That's the 4th Nebraska pitcher in this game. Check that. Tate Renninger will pitch for Nebraska. So Tate becomes the 4th Kearney, Nebraska pitcher.
And looks like Logan
After
Clark
throwing 51
going to move over to
pitches with a
second base.
threshold count of 50, number 5, Logan Clark, now playing second base. Taking over on the mound for Nebraska, number 3, Tate Renninger.
So another Nebraska pitching change. You know, a lot of NFL quarterbacks have played Little League, John. This shouldn't surprise anybody because a good athlete at a young age is typically involved in 2, 3, sometimes 4 sports. That includes Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't look like him a few years ago. How about Tom Brady?
Doesn't look like him at 41.
No. Doug Flutie, the Hail Mary back in the 80s. Back to live action toward right field. Runner's going to come around to score. They'll have a chance to send a second man if they want. But it's second and third. And a double by Connor Holm, who is perfect today. 2 for 2 and has reached base 4 consecutive times.
Yeah, swinging the bat well, feeling very confident in the plate as he delivers that out to right center field and
North Dakota, third baseman,
picks up that
number
other
15,
important run here.
Drew
8-1 now. They're trying to stretch this lead out. As you can see, the long arms, nice left-handed swing there. Keep your head down and delivers it out there.
Now a short grounder to third. Run will score on the play. Other runner advancing to third and is in there. So an RBI ground out by Drew Rarick. Gets a congratulations from his first base coach, Jason Kalbrunner. It is now 9-1.
This is a good play defensively here. Get the out over at first base, and
number 8, Charlie
you can see Anderson with a nice throw there to try to get the runner at third. Unable to get him, but good play defensively.
And we have 10 and 15 run rules in effect today, so the 10 run rule now is something North Dakota is starting to close in on. And that rule basically calls a halt to the game when one team has a sizable advantage. And we'll visit that as we go along. Charlie Kalbrunner, 2 RBIs without swinging to bat. Now a base hit. It is now 10-1. You don't have a weakness in any part of this lineup, John.
Oh, up and down. You almost felt that way when you watch these guys warm up a little bit and you see them take the field and what they do. Athletically, up and down, a lot of depth in this lineup.
North Dakota shortstop, number 2.
Nice
Landon
smooth swing,
Meyer.
too. All lefties up there looking smooth at the plate.
Every position but the 9-hitter has gotten on base, and that's another hit. Landon Myers aboard, runners at first and second. We mentioned 10 runs and how significant that is. The team has a lead of 10 runs or more after the 4th inning. We're obviously in the 5th right now. And this game could end shortly. Another base hit. Bats continue to just fly off the handle. Fritz knocks home a run. 11-1. Wow.
They're feeling comfortable now, settling in. Says sometimes the first few at bats, it takes you a while. This is the first time this North Dakota team has seen this field in this type of tournament. But boy, they just keep delivering now after having bases loaded, not scoring some runs. Now they're finding a way to get them across.
Runner heading down to second. Another man in scoring position. So right now we're at that 10-run mark, which means Nebraska must score in its half of the 5th or we're done. Well, for typically state champions that come here and experience, as Nebraska has experienced, a rough afternoon, this is highly unusual because they typically dominate in a number of their games prior to this, or especially win almost every game to get in position like this. Kearney has a great history in the Little League World Series. 3rd straight appearance, 8th in the last 9 years, and actually got to the big show in 2012. First team ever from Nebraska to accomplish that, getting to Williamsport.
Yep. We asked him, is there any pressure because of the success that Kearney Little League has had before? And they said, the big pressure is getting here. Trying to win the state to find your way here.
Bomeyer to third base. That'll plate 1 and we'll plate 2 more. So the wheels have kind of come off here in Nebraska's 5th as a defensive team. And North Dakota has put 2 more on the board.
Now the ball, again, not hit that hard down to third base and not able to come up with it as it kind of scoots through the legs there, and a few more, call them maybe insurance runs there for them right now to try to keep that lead out front where they can end it at the half of the inning.
Logan Sullivan will get a chance to hit here, as North Dakota has batted around for the 2nd time today. Don't forget, 4 Eastern today, 3 Central. More baseball to the Great Lakes region this time around, and Illinois versus Michigan. Later tonight, Indiana and Kentucky. This towards short. Long throw the first is a little high. So now back-to-back errors in the North Dakota fifth, and back to the top of the lineup.
Boy, they just keep putting pressure on you defensively as they're not necessarily hitting the ball hard every time, but they're getting it in play, and because of that, just really puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and Nebraska not able to get out of this inning yet.
2 outs there, fire over to third base. So that's the second out on the inning on a hard hit ball. Adam Leininger, who has batted twice in the inning, retired. And here's Jordan Leininger, who's had a great day. 3 for 3. Check that, 3 for 4. 2 runs scored.
North Dakota center fielder, number 7, Jordan Leininger.
Now, right now, you can hear umpires chatting with the Fargo players as there is going to be some activity in the pen, and just reminding kids to have helmets on.
I think he was telling him, number 2, you got to get a helmet on, and I think he had it on.
He does. He does have a helmet on. Maybe the white is confusing.
Yes.
Everybody's straight, though. Here we go. Jordan Leininger becomes the 7th, check that, the 11th hitter in the inning for North Dakota. As Fargo's gone through the lineup 4 consecutive times, 4 times in this game. And that means Jordan is up to play for the 5th time today. It's been a 7-run inning. Well, how many Little League games have we seen over the years where things get out of hand for one of the defensive teams and just fall way behind, and then the next time out's a little different story?
Sure, and we see it every year. You know, once things start to slip, it really goes, but that's the good thing about it. And Brent Anderson told us that same thing about this team. There's no quit in them, so regardless of what the outcome of this is, because of the pool play, they have an opportunity.
There's a game recently where the Kansas City Royals, who've had a tough year, gave up 10 in the first inning. So it happens on all levels.
Yes.
A meltdown. Down the left field line and fair. Jordan Leininger now 4 hits in the game.
Oh, and that ball was scorched. You're right. You say smoke, I say scorched, same thing.
Yeah.
Right over the third baseman's head.
North Dakota first baseman, number 12.
That ball was
Connor
inside
Holmes.
and really good balance at the plate that time. Didn't even move really that front leg, just kind of used his body and twisted and got quick hands through the zone, able to drill that in the left field.
Brent Anderson is bringing on his 5th pitcher right now. Everybody getting a chance to work today in opening day activity. In the meantime, Tate Reniger will head out to left field, and we will step aside. Yeah, after the game, be awesome. Thank you. Eli Randolph will become Nebraska's 5th pitcher here, and an opportunity to throw. E on the mound, stands 5'6", almost 120 pounds, age 12.
Number 12, Connor Holmes.
Connor Holmes, who doubled in a run and scored earlier in the inning, has had a perfect day. 2 for 2, 3 runs scored. Make that 3 for 3. This almost feels like North Dakota batting practice today. They have been just that good.
Wow. And we mentioned before, this is the 3rd time I'll say it. This is a team that scored 28 runs in the championship game with 7 home runs. So they've got the power to do it. And the balls they're hitting today, they're not lifting them. They're hitting them on the line.
51-0 run advantage you mentioned is carried over nicely to Westfield, north of Indianapolis. Here's the manager's son again, Drew Rarick. You know, maybe that visit to Williamsport last year is good memories.
Certainly gives you some incentive to get there.
Ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 5th. And that ball is foul. On that visit to Williamsport, a number of players got a chance to go along. And the idea set up by Chris Meyer, one of the coaches, was they get used to this, and maybe next year we'll be visiting here as a competing team.
Pretty good thought. You know, put some goals out there. You can see it. Carrot. Little carrot out there. The guys decide, yeah. Go back and tell everybody else. You know they're going to go back and say what a great time they have. We have got to get there somehow, some way.
Certainly. Nebraska with this win will face Iowa. That'll be tomorrow night. ESPN Plus, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. In the meantime, North Dakota will face Iowa. In the meantime, Nebraska will move to the losers bracket. Inning over. What an inning it was. 8 for North Dakota. Nebraska needs 4 to prolong the game.
Eli Randolph, 8. Defensively for North Dakota, Jake Jaroszewski now playing right field, number 13. Re-entering the game in left field.
Focused on fun, fitness, fundamentals. The Little League journey starts with T-ball. Visit littleLeague.org/T-ball for our free 10-week practice plan to keep the youngest Little Leaguers moving, having fun, and learning the games of baseball and softball. We're on the verge of wrapping this game up unless Nebraska has a huge inning, as the 10-run rule is alive and well right now. North Dakota up by 14. Keegan Brand lead off. has flown out and singled to right field, and a runner was cut down trying to score on the play. North Dakota will get Iowa tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Nebraska will get either Kansas or Minnesota, the loser of that game. And that'll be on Tuesday. One out here in the 5th.
Back in for 5.
Here's Landon Greeno stepping to the plate. He has an RBI ground out.
Entering the game now, hitting number 34, Landon Greeno.
And Greeno actually has appeared only once, flying out to left field.
Like I said, this team's not going to give up. They're going to, fight back there. And I like what you said. We've seen it year in and year out. We've been here for a while now, coming back, and teams that get beat up pretty good in the first game find a way to come back and score a bunch of runs. We've seen teams that are not able to put any runs on the board, and then they'll outscore everybody the rest of the tournament.
Pretty hard to figure as Charlie Kalbrunner makes the play, but that's baseball, right?
Yes, it is.
Great Red Sox story as Fargo's about ready to wrap it up after Game 3 of the playoffs of the Yankees in a series they came back from 3 games down to win. And they've been beaten badly at Fenway Park in Game 3. The Boston Globe the next day had a headline that said, "It's time to panic." And as you know, Red Sox came back and won 4 and made history. That's where the quote came from Curt Schilling that Dave Roberts, now the manager of the Dodgers, will never have to buy a meal again in Boston for his ability on base to steal a base and score the tying run in that 9th inning of Game 4 between the Sox and the Yankees.
Boy, Sox not having trouble this year stealing bases. Most stolen bases they've had in 100 years.
And that does it. Impressive. Fargo, North Dakota in its first game.
In the bottom of the 5th for Nebraska, no runs, no hits, nobody left. Final pitch down for
Well, I'll tell you, for this North Dakota team, they put 15 runs on the board. First opportunity to see this field and this tournament here. Pretty special for them. They have to have a lot of confidence. And for Nebraska, they're going to find their way back here. These teams have been here before and have seen that, now fought their way back. So we'll see what happens from here. But pretty good victory for North Dakota in their first outing.
Good point, John. Game took an hour and 42 minutes. North Dakota wins. Now 1-0 along with Minnesota. Both of those teams will play tomorrow in winner's bracket activity. And the 2 losers now, which includes Kearney, Nebraska, will come back on Tuesday after a day off to try to regroup. So that's it for game number 2. We're out of the Midwest Regional for a while. We get to the Great Lakes later this afternoon and tonight. For John Gregory, Jim Barber, our fine ESPN production crew, thank you for joining us. Come on back at 4 Eastern, 3 Central for Illinois and Michigan.